Putting your best foot forward in an interview takes a well-developed sense of who you are and what skills you bring to the table for a prospective employer. Taking the time to prepare your strategy and to explore and define your skills displays the right attitude. Equally important to having a good sense of your skills is the knowledge of how to package it and present it in an interview. Presentation displays your aptitude. Today, it often requires more than a great attitude and the aptitude to do the job to land an offer. Setting yourself apart from the competition is what gets you job offers. In a competitive job market, employers have increasingly high expectations of the candidates they interview. They also have a larger candidate pool to choose from. Altitude is about performing at that level when you interview and stacking the odds in your favor. Hi, I'm Mark St. Marie of the Interviewing Edge. At the Interviewing Edge, we provide a 12-part interview skills training course called the 3 A's: Attitude, Aptitude, and Altitude. Today I'm going to do an overview of the third card in the deck of the 3 A's, Altitude. In the 4 webinars we conduct that specifically address altitude, we go beyond the basics in interviewing and job search. Altitude covers the tools that help you get the edge in the interview process. As motivational expert Jim Rohn said, if you are not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. This applies to interviewing as well. Today, more than ever, candidates must use their own creative energy and infuse it into their interviewing. In Altitude, we give you some tools and templates that will enable you to soar above your competition. You will want that employer to know that as an employee, you're willing to go the extra mile. Demonstrating your desire and ability in the interview is proof positive that once you're on board, you will do just that. In Altitude, we go beyond the basics with 2 segments covered over 4 webinars. The first segment, which we cover in the first 2 Altitude webinars, is about what I call power tools. I refer to these concepts as power tools because they display that you have prepared at a level that far exceeds what most people will do when they interview. These tools are actually a culmination of all the work you've done to this point in matching your qualifications to the skills required to do the job at hand. They help both you and the employer connect the dots as to why you are the best person for the position. In Part 1 of Power Tools, we discuss 3 of these tools: the comparative study, the fab sheet, and the prospective employee checklist, which is a concept developed exclusively by our firm. I provide instructions and templates for all of these tools in the full webinar. In Part 2, we discuss another category of power tools, and that's business plans. Today, I'd like to touch on this concept and give you some information to utilize it in your own search. I'm sure it might sound a little strange that I would suggest that you prepare a business plan for an employer. It's generally thought that business plans are something a business owner does. However, a big part of interviewing success is positioning yourself to be a solution to a company's problem. When all is said and done, if a company has a problem in the form of a position that needs to be filled, that ultimately translates to lost time, lost productivity, and here's the big issue: lost profit. If you think about it in those terms, it's plain to see that business is generally about that very thing: profitability. A business plan that you create for an employer is not necessarily to be designed for the business itself. It's a plan you create relative to yourself as an employee and a problem solver for the company. If you present your own personal business plan in an interview, you will enable your future potential employer to see how you are a solution to a problem he has and how you will add and contribute to the bottom line. It also shows that you've spent a lot of time reviewing everything, getting to understand his needs, and are prepared to address those needs in a significant, purposeful, and goal-oriented way. While business plans are very often related to sales reps who outline territory business plans for potential employers, you can do this kind of plan for any position, since no matter what you do, you are being considered as an employee to add to bottom line profitability in one of a number of ways. So, start thinking about the value you'd bring to an employer in terms of profitability and how you plan to contribute. That is the essence of starting your own business plan. We outline the steps for a complete plan in the webinar.